That way you just have a little cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is like falling off a ladder. You wouldn't have any trouble doing that. So
I'll do whatever. I'm not above doing anything. So.
Well.
Or do you want me to talk to Marty? I mean, whatever you want.
Yeah, I think I ought to stay out of it. That's
Okay.
what I think.
It's former state representative Mike McClain talking with former House Speaker Michael Madigan, staffer Kevin Quinn, and then Madigan in a separate call talking about how he really shouldn't have any part to do with this plan to pool money together to pay Kevin Quinn after he was fired from Madigan's political operation following sexual harassment allegations. Holy cow. The latest audio out of the trial against former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan and his co-defendant Michael McClain. They're charged with 23 counts of bribery, racketeering, and other federal charges for what federal prosecutors called Madigan Enterprise, a nearly decade-long scheme to benefit Madigan using his public office to get little to do nothing jobs for his associates in exchange for ushering in some of the favorable legislation for Commonwealth Edison. Welcome back, Illinois in Focus Daily. Of course, this trial against Madigan, long time coming, and it's been going on now for weeks. And we get the latest yesterday with Will Kusenow, former Madigan staffer, on the stand, wrapping things up after he went on the stand last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday he was on the stand. So Monday he gets on there, finishes up his testimony, and then they bring on some others to provide testimony. And one particular storyline that came up quite a bit was the storyline of Kevin Quinn. And being a former Madigan staffer within his local political operation, being accused of sexual harassment by another political staffer. And while the jury in the case didn't get to hear about the reasons why Quinn was let go from Madigan's operation, they knew that he was let go from Madigan's operation. And they ended up airing some of these tapes about getting money to Quinn. But before we get there, let's get to the crux of some of the things that are being alleged by prosecutors about these contracts that Madigan allies would get in exchange for getting favorable legislation through the General Assembly that favors Commonwealth Edison. Flashback to last year, the ComEd 4 trial, which McClain was a part of. It included Ann Primazzori, who is a former ComEd official, and 2 lobbyists associated with ComEd. Well, in a phone call that Madigan had with McClain about Ann Primazzori's plane, kind of revealing here in the talk that they were having about how classy of a plane Ann had.
So, Mike, in your later life, you may want to think of working for a power company, because the plane that Ann Primazzori arrived in, you could carry the President of the United States in the thing.
Well, it was kind of a nice thing. I mean, Ann called up and said to Chris Crane, I'd like to go to the funeral and take one of the planes. And Chris said, you take blah, blah, blah plane, whatever that plane is, which is the big one in the fleet. And so it was very nice of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure.
Probably a waste of a lot of money for all that plane for one person, but,
I guess they're showing a profit.
I think they're doing okay. So, but it was nice of her to come too. So it was, that one trip to Turkey developed a real nice relationship between you and her, and always made me feel good.
Yep, sure.
And then you guys were always good to Jack during the conventions, and so now their son Jack wants to. He wants to help in politics. He wants to run for office. It's amazing how the ripple effect of what a nice gesture does.
Sure.
And then how just kind of has a domino effect.
Interesting to kind of lift the curtain a bit to hear some of that. But again, some new audio revealed yesterday in court highlights this plan to pool money together for Kevin Quinn, the brother of Marty Quinn, a Chicago alderman who Kevin Quinn was working for Madigan in his political operations, and several years ago at the peak of the Me Too movement, a political staffer alleged that Quinn was harassing her with unwanted approaches and texts and a variety of other things, and she even went to the office and complained about it and didn't really feel much was being done, and then all of a sudden it boiled over. Quinn was let go, but you had a loyal Madigan staffer let go. What do you do now? Is he going to be able to get any kind of income? Well, McClain ended up talking with Quinn about what he's setting up, getting several people to pool $1,000 each to give to Quinn.
Well, while we're looking for a job for you, I thought maybe I'd get a few guys together and try to give you a bridge of some money. So it would be a consultant contract with some, like three or four or five people. It gets you $5 or $6 grand a month that you don't have now, and it would be like a 6-month contract, and then hopefully during that 6 months you can land somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm making calls now, and so here's my thought. See what you think. So here's my thought that because I don't know if they'll write it off on their business or not. I just don't know that. But it would be a written contract, where you would promise to do some research for them. And at the end of the 6 months, you'd give them that paper.
So, again, it kind of sounds like,
you got to tell me the number.
All you got to do is just put some things together on a piece of paper and send that off to whoever's giving you $1,000 a month. It could be the same paper for this person, that person, and the other. And the prosecutors even showed some of these papers that Quinn would produce and the contracts that were produced to give them $1,000 each, up to $6,000. And here's more of that conversation.
Well, thank you.
So they just give you a bridge,
Yeah.
And so it'll probably take us, so I'd start September 15th and go for 6 months.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
That way you just have a little cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
And the what you have to do is like falling off a ladder. You wouldn't have any trouble doing that. So
I'll do whatever. I'm not above doing anything, so.
So falling up a ladder, you could do that, right? And it's kind of just, again, fascinating. Hey, we're going to set this up. 6 people are going to give you $1,000. All you got to do is give them this, report, and you can give the same report to 6 different people, and there you go. You got a contract with $6,000 a month. Well, McClain then brought at least some of the idea to Madigan in a wiretapped phone call that prosecutors revealed yesterday.
Hi, Speaker.
Yeah, Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You have a minute?
Yeah, sure.
So, Speaker, I put 4 or 5 people together that are willing to contribute to help a monthly thing for the next 6 months, like I mentioned to you, for Kevin Quinn.
Yeah.
So I'm prepared to talk to Kevin about it now, but I didn't know if you wanted to not mention it to Marty, or if you want to stay out of it, or...
Well,
or do you want me to talk to Marty? I mean, whatever you want.
Yeah, I think I ought to stay out of it. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. I'll take care of it.
You ought to stay out of it, was his thinking. But again, something that federal prosecutors aired yesterday for the jury. They're back at it again today, even if it's election day. Yes, jury's going to be in. They're going to start court at 11. The judge gave them the morning off so that they could get their votes in. And then they got to go right back to the jury box to hear more evidence against former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan and Mike McClain, co-defendant in U.S. v. Madigan et al. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Thank you so much for being here each and every weekday morning. Get the podcast where you get podcasts. Just search Illinois in Focus and get the headlines at thecentersquare.com.